I'm doing, I know it's risky. Like what you saying, nah, I ain't tripping. Like I'm a king, no, not a nigga. I keep my distance from the wicked. Like is they ready, the time is ticking. I let them come and witness. Want my people to shine with greatness. Remember the days of ancient. Our time is
a lot of our people did go back to Israel. Like I said, around the I believe it was the 1960s. A lot of people from Chicago that knew that they was Israelites, they got together and they went back to Israel. And like you said, they still oppressed. The Bible said that wherever you go, you're gonna be oppressed in this place. Like you said, Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28, you read about those curses, about the Israelites being at the bottom of society and oppressed. And again, you will be an Israelite. Give me Luke 21. And how we talked about the Jews, the Israelites, they left Israel and they got scattered all throughout Africa. All right, go to Luke 21, and I believe that's verse number 24. Read this.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword,
right?
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
So God said that when we fell, because remember, we was in Jerusalem, and the Romans, they came, and what did they do? They started killing everybody. If you believed in Christ, they was killing you, they was oppressing you. So we had to run and flee. Read that again.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
So we're going to fall by the sword, meaning the weapons that they had.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
Right.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
Did you hear that, sister? It said Jerusalem is going to be trodden down and conquered by the Gentiles. Which is why the white man, the fake Jews, is in that land right now.
Right.
They're the Gentiles and they're ruling that area.
Right.
But that used to be our homeland at first. Again, you come from the tribe of Yoruba. That's a mighty tribe. That's Ephraim. All right, that's Ephraim, sons of Ephraim. So now that you know that you're an Israelite, sister, what's some things that God requires of the Israelites? That's right. Obey the commandments. Now, what's some commandments?
Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal.
That's right. All right. No adultery. That's right, sister. So those commandments we still have to keep to this very day. The church would say, don't keep the commandments.
Right.
The church would say the law is done away with. You don't got to keep it. God said you got to keep the commandments forever. Give me Romans 7 and verse 1. And I have my mother, she actually worked with somebody from, I believe it's Tanzania, in East Africa. And over there in East Africa, near, Kenya and that little area around there, over there, they keep the Sabbath day too. And it's a remnant of Israelites over there, so it's a lot of our people that's still in Africa. The bulk of us came to America through slavery, but again, it's still a lot of us in Africa still keeping the Sabbath day and these commandments to this day, because that's what God required of us. Read this.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 7, and verse 1.
Right.
Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law.
Right.
How that the law have dominion over a man as long as he liveth.
So God said that the law has dominion and rulership over man as long as he lived. Meaning to this very day, we still have to keep the laws, no matter if you're in America, Africa, Japan, Israel, China, India, South, wherever you went, you still have to keep the laws that God commanded us. Like you said, the 10 commandments, and then there's commandments outside the 10 that God set up. Now, did you know that the Israelites are forbidden to eat pork? Did you know that?
Yeah.
You did know that. Now, do you eat pork? Sometimes a little bit. Well, you want to stop eating pork because you are an Israelite again. We the real Jews.
Right.
You want to put the pork away because God said so.
Right.
Let's get that in Leviticus.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14 and verse number 8. And the swine, because it divided the hoof, yet chewed not the cud, is unclean unto you.
So the swine is the pig. God said it's unclean. Now, if something is unclean, can you eat it? You can't eat it. You gotta throw it out. You gotta throw it away. You know?
Ye shall not eat of their flesh.
What did God say about the pork?
Ye shall not eat of their flesh,
God said, don't eat the flesh.
nor touch their dead carcass.
So, according to the Bible, no pork. God gave that to your ancestors. Alright? So that means you gotta put the pork away, put the ham, what else? Yeah, the bacon, chitlins, what else come from pork? Hog maw, pepperoni, yeah, sausage pizza, all that you gotta throw away. Now you can eat pork chops. Now you can eat righteous food, like chicken. Chicken is good. Yeah, fish is good. You know, sunfish, lamb, cattle, sheep, goat, oxen. Those things you can eat. And there's something in the waters God said you can't eat. All right, read verse 9.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters and in the seas and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
So in the waters too, you got fish that you can eat, and you got fish that you cannot eat. The fish that you cannot eat, it said if it doesn't have fins and scales, you can't eat it. What's some animals out the water that don't have fins and scales? Think about some animals that don't got fins and scales in the waters. Like lobster. Yeah, lobster, they don't got fins or scales. Shrimp, they don't got scales. They got fins, but no. I think they got fins, but no scales. What else? Catfish, octopus. Those animals, you cannot eat it. God said it's an abomination. Right. If it's in your refrigerator at home, all right, good. You gotta throw it away if it is. You don't have it, that's good. Now read on.
And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
So if it does have fins and scales, if it do got it, then you can eat it. You know what salmon is? Yeah, salmon. You can eat salmon. Salmon got fins and scales.
Right.
Perch, red snapper. No catfish. You can eat saltfish though. You eat saltfish, alright? But catfish, it got fins but no scales. It don't got scales, alright? So if it got fins and scales, you can eat it. Because you being an Israelite from the tribe of Ephraim, you gotta keep these laws that God gave to our people. Because every time we break these laws, guess what? We go into slavery, captivity, and we get oppressed and we get overthrown.
Right.
I'm gonna give you a few more commandments. Read this.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter. Book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 26. You shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall you use enchantment nor observe time.
So it's a lot of witchcraft in Africa. Do you get down with that? That's good. You know, you want to stay away from all witchcraft in Africa or in anywhere. God said, as Israelites, you know, we can't be doing that. That would be a sin. That would be against the law. We're a holy people. We're not supposed to do no demonic witchcraft. All right, no demonic witchcraft. All right, sister. You know what?
Verse 28, ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord.
Now I know in Africa, I know in Nigeria it's customs where you think you can cut or you mark your body up, right? You mark your arm up.
That's for beauty.
Oh, for beauty. Do you guys like cut yourself in any way to get marks?
No, just like tattoo.
Okay. All right. Well, no tattoos according to the Bible.
Right.
All right, read that again.
Verse number 28. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord.
That's right. So no tattoos and no cutting yourself. No marking, no branding, none of that. That's against God's laws. Your body is holy.
Right.
You have a holy temple.
Right.
All right, you want to make sure that you keep that temple healthy and fit. No tattoos, no cutting, any form of way of harming your flesh, you don't want to do it. All right, does that make sense, sister? Okay, all praises. We going?
Verse 29.
You can stop it right there. So you knowing that you're an Israelite and you know these basic commandments, I want to ask, where you from? Do they keep the Sabbath day? That's the 7th day Adventist. Nobody else. All right. Well, we gonna show you about the Sabbath.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 30. Ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord.
So the Sabbath day is on Saturday.
Right.
It's not on Sunday.
Right.
The Christian church, they tell you it's on Sunday.
Right.
God said it's on the 7th day of the week.
Right.
Saturday.
Right.
Go to Genesis chapter 2 and verse 1. We're gonna show you that. So when you go on your phone or we look at a calendar, what's the first day of the week? Sunday is the first day of the week. So what's the last day? Saturday.
Right.
So how come the church tell us that Sunday is the first day of the week? I mean, that Sunday is the 7th day of the week. It's the Sabbath. How come all the church, they say, you want to serve God? Come to church on Sunday. They should be going to church today. But we know America and Christianity church, it's our lives. Now in Africa, what's the 2 biggest religions? That's right. The main two is Christianity and Islam, right? Christianity and Islam, they both conquered Africa. They conquered your people. And they took away the understanding that the Jews had over there. But God, his understanding is always in the Bible. So we're going to read what day that's set. Like you said, it's Saturday, last day of the week. We're going to see what God commanded on Saturday. Read this.
In the book of Genesis chapter 2 and verse number 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all of the host of them. And the 7th day God ended his work which he made, and he rested.
What did God do?
And he rested.
Read that again.
And he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made.
So even God rested on Saturday, the 7th day, and he stopped all his labors. If God did that, then we got to do it. Because God told us to what? Keep the Sabbath day. So, sister, on the Sabbath day, it's certain do's and don'ts. No buying or selling on Saturday. That's the Sabbath. No working on Saturday. No doing your own pleasures on Saturday. All these things consist of keeping the Sabbath. All right, sister? Read that in Nehemiah 10:31. I'm gonna show you that real quick. Because at the church, they're not gonna teach our people this. That's why it's written up in the Bible for God to teach us. All right, Nehemiah chapter 10, verse number 31.
Chapter 10 and verse number 31. And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day.
So if someone come to Chicago, right, come right here, and they selling stuff on a Sabbath day, read that again.
If any people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath or the holy day.
God said if they come here and try to sell you something, we can't take it because it's the Sabbath day. Now, if it was, yesterday, it was, Friday afternoon, we can buy it. When the sun go down, we can buy it. But today, right now, while the sun is up, no buying, no selling, no working, because you're supposed to rest.
How about now? You are ministry.
You said, what, sister?
You are ministry. It's allowed.
Right, so what we're doing right now is we teaching the people on this side that they are the lost tribes of Israel. Give me that, I believe that's Luke 14:22. God said we gotta go out to the streets. And when you go out to the street, you gotta make sure that you bid the lost tribes to come back to the faith, to the knowledge. Because if I ask you, sister, the people over there in Yoruba, do all of them know that they are the Israelites? Does everybody know? No. So who gonna tell them? We gotta tell them.
Right.
All right. People gotta go out there to Nigeria, to, you know, the diverse countries that's out there, and they gotta go on the street and they gotta tell the sheep, you know, the lost tribes of Israel, that they are God's chosen people.
Right.
That's our whole purpose. That's what Christ did. That's what the apostles did, the disciples, and men that follow after them. They went out to the streets and they taught the word of God. Read this.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 14, verse 32. 22. Slaki 22. And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in.
So Christ said, go to the highways and the hedges and compel them, meaning command them to come in. Read on.
That my house may be filled.
Right.
For I say unto you, that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper.
So God said that the Israelites, the teachers, they gotta go out to the highways and hedges and compel them that my house may be full. This is the house of Israel. So everybody on that side and everybody that's scattered abroad, like how, you know, how we scattered abroad. You are Israelite from Africa. We Israelites from the Americas.
Right.
You got Israelites in Mexico,
Right.
and in Puerto Rico,
Right.
China,
Right.
India, and all over the world. God said wherever they are, they gotta go out to those streets and teach them. Read this.
Here's the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 20. Wisdom cries out. She uttered her voice in the street.
Where is wisdom?
She uttered her voice in the street. She cries in the chief place of the concourse, in the openings of the gates.
God said wisdom is going to be by the gates, sister. So you see these gates right here? Right, you see these gates, sister? God said wisdom is going to be on the streets by the openings of the gates. All right? You see something interesting about the sun? What you looking at? So these are the other nations, right? And this for you too, brother. All right, we teaching how we God's chosen people, how we the Israelites. You will be the top nation that God ever created throughout the face of the earth. Did this word ever tell you that? The school ever tell you that?
I ain't go to school, bro. I'm dumb in the motherfucker.
Brother, you ain't dumb, brother. Brother, come back. You ain't dumb, brother. Hey, sister. Remember we said earlier. You said do the American blacks do they listen? A lot of them don't listen, just like that. Yeah, we stiff-necked people. So just like that, sister, that's a good example. That's the Israelites. Israelites, they don't like to listen to God. Give me Ezekiel 3, verse number 3. So the Israelites, that's why we in slavery now, because we don't like to listen to God. You got a precept? Come here.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 4 and verse number 22.
Make sure you listen up, because it's talking about the Israelites. Like that brother right there, it's going to talk about him.
For my people is foolish.
What did God say?
For my people is foolish.
Oh, the Israelites?
For my people is foolish.
God said, my people, the Israelites, they foolish. They don't like to listen. American blacks, African Americans, they don't like to listen. Hispanics and Jamaicans and Haitians, they don't like to listen. Hard-headed people. Read on.
For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding.
I said we got no understanding. Our understanding come from God, but that brother said out of his mouth, he said, I ain't go to school. I'm dumb than a MF. That's foolish, sister. But that's what happened to the Israelites when we don't keep God's commandments. Bring us out.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 3. And he said unto me, okay, verse 5. For thou art not sent to a people of strange speech and of a hard language.
So God said the Israelites, they don't speak a hard speech or a language. It's easy to talk to one another. So when Ezekiel was teaching to our people, God is letting them know you're not sent to a people that's just from out of this realm.
Right.
You know?
But to the house of Israel.
But to who?
But to the house of Israel.
God said, you really sent to the house of Israel, hard-headed, stiff-necked people.
Right.
Read.
Not too many people of a strange speech and of a hard language, whose words thou canst not understand.
Right.
Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee.
So God said, if he would have took Ezekiel and Jeremiah and they would have taught these people, they would have listened. All right, well, what other nations we got up here? These people, these Ishmaelites, these heathens, if Jeremiah and Ezekiel was sent to them, they would have listened. Yeah, you got the Elamites, but Jeremiah was sent, and Ezekiel and the prophets, they were sent to the house of Israel, which is a hard-headed, stiff-necked people.
Right.
But that's why we come out here, because we got to tell our people that they have to come back to God, come back to the truth, their nationality, and how to serve the Most High God in truth and in sincerity.
Right.
Just like how you brought us into the commandments, we got to keep the commandments.
Right.
A lot of our people, they're not keeping the commandments. In Africa, they're not keeping the commandments. In Africa, are they teaching? Like we already said it, they're not teaching that we the Israelites. They teaching lies.
Right.
Do they? What white Jesus said? You can lift this up for me real quick.
What that guy?
Is this image in Africa? This image not in Africa. This one right here. It is in Africa, sister. White Jesus. Yeah. That picture. It's in Africa, right? Why is this picture in Africa when the majority of everybody in Africa has dark skin?
Right.
Because that's the lies that they teach.
Right.
If I was to ask you what color was Christ, what would you say? Well, what color? African is a continent.
No. It's a brown, dark-skinned person.
He's a brown, dark-skinned person.
Right.
So if he's brown and dark-skinned, why is this over there in Africa?
Right.
And how come the dark-skinned pastor is teaching white Jesus?
Right.
That don't make sense.
At all.
So those are lies that they teach it to our people.
Right.
So again, sister, you knowing that you Israel, those are a few commandments for you to learn. Now, I see you got on a modest, got on a modest trench coat, right? Do you wear dresses or modest clothing every day? Every day? That's good. Give me 1 Timothy 2:9. That's beautiful. God said that the older women, they have to teach the younger women. So now, since you know that you Israel, you got any daughters? You got to teach your daughters that they Israelites. And you got to teach them the commandments. And then they got to teach their daughters. We had a Titus. Is it 3 and 9? Yes, go to start at 3 and 2.
This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
What did God say?
In modest apparel.
God said you gotta adorn yourself in modest apparel, like what you got on. That's modest for the most part. So you gotta make sure that anyone that you know, any of your sisters, your daughters, they gotta be the same exact way. All right. So, sister, and again, you being a beautiful example right now. Shamefacedness, very humble. That's the attributes that our women need to have. In the Americas, a lot of our women, they don't got that. They loud. They want to wear, revealing clothing. They got their body all out for the world. You don't want to, that's a bad example. That's not like God. God said that according to the Bible, our women have to be holy, shamefaced, quiet, and listen to the words that's being presented and dressed in modest appearance.
Right.
And you being an older sister, that's what God said to you. Read.
It's the book of Titus, chapter 2, and verse number 3. The aged women, likewise.
So God said the aged women, the women that are older like you. Read that again.
The aged women, likewise. That they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not giving too much wine, teachers of good things.
What does she have to be?
Teachers of good things.
Read that again.
Teachers of good things.
So God said you got to be a teacher of good things.
Right.
So, and the good things are the commandments. So, we don't...
That they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed.
That's what you got to teach, sister. All right, and you know that you Israel, you know about the commandments. Now it's time for you to start doing what you already are doing for the most part. You got to start applying these commandments. No more pork. All right, no more pork. You can eat chicken, you can eat turkey, you know, oxen, lamb, you know, cattle.
Right.
But all the bad foods, no eat. You can't eat it. No shrimp, no crab,
Right.
no lobster. All right, no squid, none of that.
Right.
But you, yeah, no octopus. All right, but you can eat good fish, salmon, saltfish, red snapper, tuna. Those are good fish because they got fins and scales.
Right.
We got one more commandment. Go to Numbers 15:38. Numbers 15 and verse number 38.
Book of Numbers, chapter 15 and verse number 38. Speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations.
So another commandment is for your dress and for the bottom of your shirt, you gotta have on fringes.
Right.
Fringes is what that brother got on right there. All right, and what, Lahabi, show your fringes real quick. You said why the fringes? It's gonna show you. You know what?
That they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
God said on the fringe, you gotta have that ribbon of blue. Now the fringe can be any color you want. It can be pink. What color I got on? I got on the black fringes. All right, brother got on black. He got on two-tone. What you got? Brother got on the yellow fringes, yellow goldish fringes. The fringe, any color. But the ribbon, it gotta be blue.
Right.
Like here, sister, see that the ribbon is blue. Everybody gotta have the blue on the border. It's gonna tell you why. We don't?
And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord.
So that's why. So let's say you went to the store and it was the Sabbath day. Now, can you buy on the Sabbath day? You cannot. So let's say you about to reach into your pocket to grab your wallet, but you rub your fringes. Then you say, hold on, it's the Sabbath day. God said no buying, I gotta rest. Let me wait till the sun is down and then I'll buy. That's what the fringes are for.
Right.
If you to remind you of the commandments. That's right, sister.
Right.
That's right. And it's more, not to just remind you, but to what else?
To remember all the commandments of the Lord and do them.
And what?
And do them.
Read that again?
And do them.
And you gotta remember and then do the commandments. Right, read on.
And seek, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, which ye used to go a-whoring. Verse 40, that you remember to do all the commandments.
God said it twice, that you remember to do the commandment
and be holy unto your God.
It's a holy thing when you wear the fringes. All right, so that's why the fringes are created. Just like, look at this sign right here, sister. Look at this sign. Now you see the Mexicans at the bottom. The Mexicans.
Yes, I see.
At the bottom, the Mexicans, the Native Americans, they still wear fringes today.
Right.
They do. They on their garments. They got in the garments and the ponchos. They got the tassels and the fringes.
Right.
And they still wear them. So even today, certain tribes still keep God's commandments and they keep specific commandments. So that's something else to learn, sister. So before you leave, I got a few questions to ask you. See what you remember. First and foremost, what's your race according to the Bible? Ephraim, Israelite from the tribe of Ephraim. That's right. Give it up for the sister. That's one. All right, two more. All right. What day is the Sabbath day on? Saturday. That's right. That's right. That's right. All right. What is that on his shirt? Fringes. That's right. That's right. Fringes. 3 for 3. I don't know last time we had him. 3 for 3. That's right. She's on fire. That's right.
There you go.
All right, God bless you too. We got a flyer for you, sister. Let me see. Look, let me see. Now we're gonna give you a flyer, all right, sister? On the flyer on your phone, it's a camera. You know, on the camera, you gotta scan a code. That's right. That's right. Go right to the YouTube. If you got Instagram, and go right to the social media. And she gotta wear it in a drip. some fringes on your dress or on your shirt. Make sure you get some, okay? You gotta get them on Amazon, at the store, whatever the case may be. All right, sister?
Let's read the Bible.
And read the Bible. That's right.
Old Testament.
That's right. Old Testament, New Testament, Apocrypha. Read the whole Bible. That's your history.
That's my job.
That's right, sister. All right, sister. Get back safe.
Okay.
All right, give it up for the sister.
bless you, sis.
God bless you too, sister. All right, all praises to the Most High. All right, all praises to the Most High. Get up for the Lord, man. Having a lot of sheep, come out and get edified. Brother edified, what, like damn 6 sheep? You know, that's what it felt like. Yeah, probably more than that. And we just kicking it off, man.
Just
all
kicking
praise
it
to the
off.
Most High.
Just kicking
It's been a lot of sheep. Not a lot of. Today's been a good day so far. All praise to the Most High. But you bring up Proverbs 1:20 again. But that's our whole job, is to come out, go into the highways and byways and show our people where they erring.
Right.
Bring them back to the fold. And even no matter what, give me Deuteronomy 20 and 25. Like how she said she from Nigeria, I believe. She said she's from Europe. Those go back to the sons of Ephraim. So all people are scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. It's not enough just to do the work in America. You got brothers, they only want to do the work in America. They only want to do the work in their city and go nowhere else. You can't have that mindset. Right. Have a mindset to say what? Go to 28 and 25. Bring out Proverbs 1 verse 20. But again, the point I was making, you want to make sure that you're being a real apostle and being sent out. You don't want to stay doing the work in the city. You've been doing the work in the same city for years and years on end, and you never stepped out of it. No, you gotta want to travel and do the work in this thing.
Right.
All right, you shouldn't be what they call a homebody. All right, I don't like to travel. I'm more of a couch potato. I like Chicago. I like the bright lights, the city, the sheep. You got to get out and do this work.
Right.
So read what you got.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse number 20.
Right.
Wisdom cries without. She uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of the concourse,
Right.
in the openings of the gates.
Right.
In the city, she uttereth her words, saying, How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning,
Right.
and the fools hate knowledge.
Right.
Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you.
Right, and that's what we out here.
Right,
to
bro.
turn Israel back and to pour out the Holy Spirit upon them. You got, in the last days, you got a lot of heathens, that's, again, I would always say, preaching false lies, prosperity doctrine, just all type of madness to our people. And how we always say, if we don't do this work, if the servants of the Lord don't do it, who else is going to do it?
Right.
You going to leave it up to the Christian church? Actually, going to leave it up to, what's his name, Marvin Sapp? You're going to take $40 one week.
Damn.
And the next week, you're going to up it up to 80.
Damn.
Then you're going to up it up to 120. Yeah, or 90.
That's coming.
Certain people make that in a year. Some don't even make that in a year. He said, you know what? I want this right now.
Cash.
Hey, sister, real quick. Now, we've been asking this question all day. Where would you see your race on this sign? Right here. So-called Black American, right?
Yeah.
Now, you believe in the Bible, don't you?
Yeah.
Now, in the Bible, where do you see the words Black American, American blacks? You don't see it nowhere. But God created everybody, right? So if he created everybody, where is our history at in the Bible? If he created everybody, where is our history at in the Bible? They didn't delete it. It's actually still in there. The thing is, you gotta find it.
Right.
Now, in the Bible, you read about a lot of world rulers, right? You read about Cyrus the Great.
Right.
You read about Alexander the Great.
Right.
You read about the Egyptian. Now, you read about all these empires and kingdoms. What kingdoms did we have? Because the Bible records all history. Where's our kingdom at? Where's our history? Where's our records? Where's these things that the school system tends to hide from us? Where's it at? I'm tired of learning about slavery, 1619, every so-called Black history. I want to learn something prior to slavery.
Right.
So what's a document, a source, a book that I can read about our people prior to slavery?
I would say, I know a lot of people say that they have a lot of stuff in the book of Enoch, but I never read
Well, you want to stay away from the book of Enoch.
really.
The book of Enoch is a really demonic book. It contradicts the Bible. Certain people say that it got taken out the Bible, but we go into it as labeled as a pseudo-pseudepigrapher book. Pseudo-pseudepigrapher goes back to a word or 2 words meaning false. It means false writings. So even, this word, they label the book of Enoch as a false writing. So what we're here to teach you, sister, is that according to the Bible, you will be an Israelite. You will be God's chosen people. You wouldn't be black. Black is the color of your jacket. Everybody on this earth has some type of form of melanin, pigmentation. How come, since everyone has, melanin pigmentation, how come you're the only one that's labeled as black?
Right. That's the question.
You know what come with the word black? Wickedness, hatred, things that's disgusting, abominable. You gotta catch the bus. I will go ahead and take our flyer, sister. Bus can handle a flyer.
We got a flyer.
That's not even a bus.
Hey.
Like this.
Spiritual.
All right, well, hey, all praise to the Most High. She looked like she, maybe wanted to learn something. All right, sister. All praises to the Most High. Nevertheless, now we have probably bring out what I had you hold. Yeah, bring that up.
This is the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 25. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth.
Only be in the mirror.
All the kingdoms of the earth.
I say you're gonna be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. Real quick, look up where that Matthew died, right? You look up where that Thomas died. Even the 12 apostles, they have to go out throughout the 4 corners of the earth. You think they was just in Jerusalem all day? You think they was in Rome all day, Italy? No, they had to go out through the 4 corners of the earth.
Right.
They had to labor. They had to go to this city, and to the next city, and to the next city. Even the 12 apostles themselves, they traveled. We read Matthew the 10th chapter. Yahweh himself even gave the disciples directions for when they traveled and steps to do. He said, don't take too many bags with you. Don't burden yourself too much. Don't take no food, because wherever you go, the people gonna feed you. You're gonna be sufficed. And if they don't, shake off the dust of your feet and keep it pushing.
Right.
So even they was going to and fro. They was nomads, pilgrims. All right, read what you got.
It says, according to the tradition, the biblical Thomas was martyred with a spear in Malapur near Chennai in India around 72 AD.
So you had Thomas, right? Thomas, he was killed and murdered in India. Now, one may say, well, what the hell is Thomas doing in India? I thought the Lord said that he's only sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Well, you have Jews that scattered throughout India. We went over that last week on the video. You have our people scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Malabar coast, this coast, that coast, all throughout the land. We went into what's his name? The ruler Malik. What's his name? Malik something, right? I can't believe I forgot his name. It's something. I'm stuck right now, right? Nevertheless, you had a kingdom, a whole dynasty that ruled over there in India, and it was all so-called black and Hispanic men, well, namely Jake man, huh? Right, the Sidis. You have the Sidis and the Abashi people that ruled over there in India. How the hell did they get over there? Because through the migration and the travel and the oppression, Israel was pushed throughout the 4 corners of the earth, man. Right. Bring out what you got.
This is Overview Bible. Matthew is traditionally believed to have died as a martyr in Ethiopia.
So here it is. Yeah, Thomas, he all the way to hell in India.
Yeah.
Right.
Matthew, he all the way in Ethiopia. They on 2 different sides. They on 2 different sides of Jerusalem. All right, Ethiopia, that's toward the western side of Jerusalem, southern. India, that's toward the east. So why are they in these different locations? Because they had to preach the word. They had to preach the word there. They couldn't stay in one area. Why? Because this is what the Lord commanded them. Bring this up.
19. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 28, verse 19. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, of the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
So when you read this is after Christ died, gave up the ghost, and kind of did, his work was fulfilled. He came back down, visit the apostles, and he gave them certain directions. Those directions that he gave them was to go throughout all the world and teach all nations. That's not saying teach the white man.
Right.
That's not saying teach the Arab man. It's not saying teach the East Indian man.
Right.
The all nations is Israel that's scattered into all nations.
Right.
And no matter what kingdom you go into, you're going to see a remnant of the tribes of Israel that was there. All right, read on. It's like, read on in there.
Teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, and even unto the end of the world.
And I'm with you always, even unto the end of the world. So a lot of the 12 apostles, they became martyrs. And it wasn't martyrs, all in the same area. They was all pushed out, going to and fro, traveling, learning new things. Learning things about this city that may be different about this city.
Right.
The sheep over here that's in, Dallas is different from the sheep that may be over here in Houston. Right. Wherever you go, Israel doesn't obtain the same spirit. You cleave unto that spirit that's within that city. So Israel, the apostles, what did they do? The men of the Lord, they had to be sent out, travel. Right. Look up apostle in the blue letter, real quick. Really get that in the blue letter. All right, what does the word apostle mean? Give me Acts 16:1 while you're looking at it. So in this truth, you are required to travel. Don't be that brother that despise traveling, that despise leaving your house, that despise even leaving your city. Right. And the ultimate goal, you should want to get that passport, lock that in, and you may go to Mexico somewhere do the work. You may go to Africa. You may go to this country, that country. We want to be able to perform the righteous acts that our fathers did to the best of your ability. Right. And you want to put your whole hand to this part and actually do the work and don't half-ass in it.
Right.
I read what you got, Acts 16.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 16, verse 1. Right. Then came he to Derbe and Lystra, and behold, a certain disciple was there named Timotheus, the son of a certain woman, which was a Jewess, right, and believed, but his father was a Greek, right, which was well reported of by the brethren that were at Lystra and Iconium. Him would Paul have to go forth with him, and took and circumcised him because of the Jews which were in those quarters, for they knew all that his father was a Greek. And as they went through the cities, they delivered them the decree for to keep that were ordained of the apostles and elders which were at Jerusalem. And so were the churches established in the faith and increased in numbers daily. Right. Now when they had gone throughout Phrygia and the region of Galatia, and were forbidden of the Holy Ghost to preach the word in Asia, after they were come to Mysia, they essayed to go into Bithynia, but the Spirit suffered them not.
All right, so we read Acts 16 and the whole book of Acts. You read about it's really called the Acts of the Apostles. So as you're reading about their acts, you're reading about how they're going to and fro throughout the whole Western, damn near the whole Western world, Roman Empire world at that time. Right. Preaching the word to none but who? The Jews only. Give me that in Acts 11 and 19. This is why I don't get why Christians always try to go to Paul's epistles or try to go to this verse or that verse. Everywhere, every single book and chapter of the Bible, read about them preaching the word to none but the Jews only. Right. Lost tribes of Israel. Right. Going to this landmass, that landmass, and no matter where it is, it's always bringing up who? Jews. Right. Read this.
This is the book. This is the definition of apostle in the Blue Letter Bible, and it reads: a delicate messenger, one sent forth with orders, specially applied to the 12 apostles of Christ.
Right. It's like I said, one sent forth for what?
One sent forth with orders.
Read that again.
One sent forth with orders.
What are we supposed to be doing?
One sent forth with orders.
So we're the ones that sent forth with orders as well. After you have a student-like mindset and you become a disciple, you begin to upgrade to the spirit of an apostle. Right. And you begin to be sent out with orders. Right. One of those orders is to bring out the lost sheep. Right. Hey family, sister. Hey sister, how you feel about this sign? Quick opinion. All right, one sent out with orders. And those orders, as we read in Ezekiel, is to be out, to get sent out to a stiff-necked, hard-headed, rebellious, donkey, stupid-like people. This is people it is, stupid-like people. Israel. All right, the lost tribes. People that don't want to come back to God. People that love dwelling in sin. People that love oppression. You want to march in the street one night, then the next night you in a damn strip club, sinning, going off. Well, and that shows you, that really proves how we God's chosen people. Right. Because in one fold you in wickedness and sin, on the next fold you crying about the oppression. That's all what the Bible really about. Right. Israel crying about oppression, being delivered, then put into another captivity. Read the book of Judges, that's all it is. And that same spirit is on us to this very day. Nevertheless, what had you hope? Yeah, Acts 11, 19, read that.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 11, Verse 19. Now they were which were scattered abroad upon the persecution that arose about Stephen traveled as far as Phoenix and Cyprus and Antioch, preaching the word to none but unto the Jews only.
Preaching the word to who?
But unto the Jews only.
So as they was going throughout these diverse cities, what did it say? They was preaching the word to none, right? But the Jews only. And that's what the Lord said, man. You know, so when we come out and we tell the so-called white man, we tell the so-called Chinese man and the Arab man that we only sent to our people, and that's what the Lord said. That these nations, they want to come up and listen. Well, can I still get a flight? I just want to listen. I just want to listen. No, you can't listen. It's not for you. I'm just going to tell heathens this isn't for you. This isn't a religion. This isn't just a phase in our life. No, it's not a false understanding of John 3:16. This is the true understanding of the Bible that this world has never heard before. But again, this message, it can't just be pushed out in America. It can't just be pushed out in Chicago and Detroit and LA and New York. No, this truth, it has to spread throughout the four corners of this earth.
Right.
And brothers should want to be a part of that.
Right.
You know how beautiful it would be for you to see those chariots to come, and you had the opportunity to do the work, you know, in another city or in another state, and you know, that's another what's the one I'm looking for? Or that's like another check mark off your spiritual bucket list that you can present to your house. Hey, look, I did the work, you know, this spot, went out the country, did it here, versus a brother that just stayed in the same camp. He didn't even move his camp spot. He never did an overtime camp. He never went to the beach. He never went to the next street. He never went throughout his neighborhood. All he did was stay in one spot his whole life. And a brother that actually traveled is going to be more accounted and more worthy than a man that hasn't traveled at all.
Right.
Give me what you got in Sirach 34.
This book is Sirach, chapter 34 and verse number 8. The law shall be found perfect without lies, and wisdom is perfection to the faithful mouth. A man that has traveled knoweth many things.
The Lord said,
That have traveled knoweth many things.
man don't know nothing.
A man that have traveled knoweth many things.
Hey brother, how you feel about this sign right here? This one right here. How you feel? What's the first thought that comes to your mind when you see these things happen to your people? Yeah, slaves, but how do you feel about it though? Do it feel good? So what you feel? If it don't feel good, then what do you feel?
Thinking about it, it's like, damn, that was really.
It's messed up. So now, yeah, God made many races, right? Why did this only happen to our people?
Entitlement. They think they entitled. They think they run shit.
Yeah, they do. they do think that. But do they really?
Yeah.
No, they don't run nothing, brother. The Lord run everything. Now, in the Bible, you read about the people that went through similar things that you see on the sun. Those people are known as the Israelites.
Right.
Give me Jeremiah 17:4. And when you read the Bible, the Israelites to this day, in 2024, will be us. In the Bible, you also read about the Israelites as God's chosen people. So if we're the Israelites, then we're God's chosen people. But I'm going to show you how the things that's written up in the Bible about the Israelites and things that happen to us to this very day make a what's the word I'm looking for? It makes a point on how we're the same people. All right? I'm